The political battle in Sudan has begun. Many promises from the Transitional Military Council led by Abdel al-Burhan, who has vowed to give Sudanese people a list of their demands. He promised to replace all the heads of security organizations within the government, including the intelligence and security services body. He promised to replace the ambassadors for Sudan nationwide all across the globe who had represented previously President Omar al-Bashir. He has promised to release policemen who has joined the protesters but then got arrested, and to lift the censorship and give open media to the public. But despite all these promises from the military council, the protesters are still continuing with their rallies and sit-ins, specifically around the military headquarters, the Defense Ministry in Khartoum. Meanwhile, the Sudan Professionals Association, the main group that has called for these protests, insist to hand over the transitional government from the military council to a civilian-led government. They believe that this is the only demand that they will have to accept before they leave the streets, a civilian-led transitional government, which they will give room for the military to be represented within. The African Union is supporting these calls. It has called for the Sudanese Military Council, and it gave it a 15 days ultimatum to hand over power to a civilian government, or else it will freeze its membership at the African Union. Meanwhile, protesters will remain, according to the latest statements from their representatives, and they are trying to stay still and calling all protesters in the streets to take any step against anyone who tries to disperse the protests. Adel, Mahrouky, CGTN, Cairo.